Mike, among Toronto's big three, there's a clear-cut number one, Austin Matthews. After that, there's some debate. William Nylander, Mitch Marner, especially this season where Nylander's on the up and Marner is sort of dealing with issues.
Yeah, and add Connor Brown to that mix. You know, Toronto is blessed because they have so many young, talented players, and it's kind of a fun debate. Like, I think at this time last year, we were probably saying Mitch Marner was probably the second best prospect.
Yeah, he came into camp, is he going to make it past the 9 games? And he just completely blew that out of the water after a couple games.
Yeah, and maybe Nylander was going through a little struggles. Well, flip it around, and now Nylander looks like him and Matthews have got some great chemistry going on, and Marner's scuttling a bit. And, I think as we go on through the season and through the years, there's going to be this kind of, I'm going to say, a fun debate between the two players because, let's be honest, they're both tremendously skilled, and I think really what it's going to come down to is line mates. And right now, Nylander has the pleasure of playing with Austin Matthews, who right now is probably a top 5 center in the league.
Yeah, and the roles have really been reversed, as you alluded to. Last year was Nylander that was sort of in the doghouse with Mike Babcock. Marner to a less extent this time around, where he's been demoted down the lineup. But it's kind of just growing pains, right? I mean, it's going to be a push and pull with both of those guys until they really hit their stride and become these all-around players that people expect them to be.
Yeah, and think credit to Nylander. Let's remember where he was last year, and he was a bit in Mike Babcock's doghouse. There were question marks about his defensive play, and a lot of people were kind of questioning, like, okay, well, is he even going to have a role on this team? Because there's so many good young forwards.
Constant rumors. I don't know where they came from, but
yeah, there was talk. They trade him for a defenseman, and you know what? He's coming through the other end, and now we're looking at a guy that's probably going to put up at least 60 points like he did last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a point-per-game player based on what he's done so far. And Mitch Marner is kind of going through that same period where comes into the NHL last year, great season, and now he's in the doghouse, kind of fighting his way up in the lineup. And a guy like Connor Brown takes some of his minutes. But if Mike Babcock has showed us anything, it's as long as you can be in the doghouse, but you might not stay in there forever.
Yeah, there's really an embarrassment of riches here in Toronto. For Michael Trakos and Post Media, I'm John Mattis.